All right, guys. Why in the chat if you guys can hear me, please? All right. All right, audio is working. Where am I? Where's my All right, here we go. Whew. So how is everybody doing? F in the chat. F in the chat if you're wrecked. Y in the chat if you can hear me. All right. Well, I guess I don't really need to ask really how everybody's doing. Everybody is getting fucked up today. So you can see I actually have the Dow Jones here on the chart. And we all know, guys, that's one of the first things that I want to talk about here is, Bitcoin, it's staying more and more correlated to the legacy markets. And you guys can see here just these humongous gaps on the way down that we've had, on our legacy indices. Okay, so that's one of the first things that I kind of wanted to just show you guys. We do have slight divergence here, however, so slightly. Okay, right? RSI higher low and price action lower low. So there are some slightly good things to be looking out for, especially on our legacy markets. So that's the first thing that I want to bring your attention to. The first thing I want to look at is the dollar. Okay, so if we bring up the weekly chart on the dollar, okay, this is pretty much what we got here. And if we go way back and look at the historical chart, this is pretty much the situation that we've been in. So we're basically doing a double bottom here on our dollar, and any closes I think that we see below 88 is just going to be absolute carnage all around the board. Not to say that it's not carnage already. But, as, the dollar goes down, obviously that also starts dragging the price of Bitcoin down as well. There's a couple messages that are hidden here. Hold on a second. Is the bull run over? Honestly, I want to say no. I want to still stay as a hopeful bull. Let's just bring up the Bitcoin chart and look at this real quickly. I think, is Binance giving me good data yet? It is. Okay, so it looks like Binance is back on. I couldn't really get good data from Binance this morning. As you guys all know, Bitcoin and a lot of the exchanges, obviously Coinbase is expected to go down when things like this happen. Their servers are total garbage. But in general, normally Binance and the major exchanges, normally those don't go down as quickly unless there is some serious stuff going on with the network. And that's exactly what we saw this morning. So let's bring it down to a daily chart and see kind of what we got here. So I really do not want to see closes below this line that I have here, this point of no return line. And we're kind of battling with this right now. Seeing a throw over of this like we're seeing right now and bouncing off this like last resort trend line here is kind of like kind of a weird situation to be in, right? This is we almost tested the yearly open. Which chart do I have? I think is it this chart or is it my BitMEX chart that I have? That okay, so this chart I posted. I know that there's a lot of lines going on here, guys, but let me just explain what we have going on here. Okay, so for our daily, our weekly, and our monthly low, we just put that in today. Okay, with a low of about $30,000, and our point of return is point of no return is basically about 35K. This is kind of my master chart that I keep for all of my important levels. So we didn't exactly sweep the 2021 yearly low yet at 28,700, but we got really damn close and wicked into a major support zone that stretches all the way back into December. Okay, so all of these other abbreviations up here, I'll just go over them from top to bottom. You've got your yearly high up at the top, followed by the monthly high, and then our weekly high, our previous daily high, which was for yesterday, today's daily high, and our previous daily low, which is basically right on top of each other. And then these three I already explained. So in terms of levels, these are going to be the things that I'm watching first. Okay. Now, what my main concern is right now is this wick really, really far down to the downside. It's a good and a bad thing. Let's go over the good stuff first, right? That signifies that there's a pretty strong buyback. The downside is that normally when we see massive wicks to the downside like that, and I'll use previous price action as reference here. Normally when we see stuff like that, we do see those wicks end up getting filled. Okay, so like we had something like that happen here. Okay, on the 22nd of February, and those wicks ended up getting filled. All these wicks to the downside were filled. The same thing happened here when we had this major correction in January, and we did have a bounce back. But then again, these wicks ended up getting filled later on. Same with this for the most part. These got filled. So that is my concern with this, is that we're seeing just kind of some preliminary bounce, and who knows what the Asia session is going to bring, in the next 12 hours or whatever. Who knows? Maybe they see another sell-off. So in general, do I think that the bull run is over? That's basically the main question that everybody is asking right now. And honestly, in my opinion, the answer to that is no, as long as we can be holding daily closes like above 35 or 40-ish. I think as long as we stay in that range, we should be okay. In my opinion, this was a humongous liquidity sweep earlier today on Twitter. I'll just show this post real quick for those of you that did not see this. And there was a really good post that Crypto Stewie, props to him, and Crypto Rank, that website. I haven't heard of this before, but Crypto Stewie ended up posting this screenshot of some data from Crypto Rank, and there's been $8.13 billion worth of positions liquidated, and then it ranks these by exchanges, Huobi and Bybit being the top two biggest ones, and then FTX and Bitfinex, and even BitMEX down at the bottom. Those of you that have been around for a while, BitMEX and Bitfinex being on the bottom of this list is actually really interesting to see, especially just with the development with Bitcoin and the network and stuff over the last 4 years. Exchanges come and go. Bybit has a lot of wash trading, so this makes sense to me. And Huobi and OKEX are pretty much where the majority of the whales are, followed by Binance. And then you've got all the options traders on Durbit. So it's kind of interesting to see over the last 4 years how these exchanges have kind of like flip-flopped in terms of when big moves like this take place, where the liquidity is on the majority of the exchanges. Okay, so this was actually a really interesting graphic. Again, props to Crypto Stewie and Crypto Rank or whatever for supplying this information. If you want more information on that, you can go to cryptorank.io, and here's their Twitter account and stuff. So you guys can check that out. Now, the liquidations charts, I actually have that open in a browser. I'll go over these in a minute, and these charts we're already looking at. So let's go back to the chart real quick. If we bring this down, actually, before we do that, if we look at Ichimoku Cloud, this was the first time that not only had we tested the bottom of the cloud, but had closed outside of it and tapped our 200 EMA for a very, 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 very long time. Okay. We haven't been in the cloud since way back here. Okay. In October. And we haven't tested our 200 EMA since way back here. Okay. This was the last time that we touched the EMA, was last year in April. Okay. Actually on 420 or 429. Okay. So the fact that we're testing this for the first time is, in my opinion, a good thing. Breaking to the bottom side of the cloud on a daily chart, that does have me a little worried, especially with, the way that the RSI has been looking and just the sheer amount of just absolute crazy bearish volume that we've had. So even regardless of this, there are still some positive signs. Okay, so don't completely freak out. It does look like the MACD is, it's pulling a lower low, obviously, with the price action. But here's the thing about that, right? These indicators that are finally pulling lower lows and along with the price action making lower lows, that's a good thing, okay? Like, you don't want to be just using indicators like this. These are kind of like your basic ones that everybody is familiar with. That's why I use these publicly. And that's a good thing, okay? When you're not seeing divergence, that's a good thing. And the reason why is because that means that the indicators are resetting themselves, okay? So on these higher time frames, the fact that the daily, the weekly, the 4-hour, major indicators are starting to reset themselves is actually a really good thing. What is your opinion on alts recovery and holding till Bitcoin recovers? So all I'm doing is holding right now. I don't have any open positions right now at the moment. I haven't had any open positions for basically this entire drop. And the reason why is because I didn't want to get caught up in any crazy funding during all of this volatility. And two, it's more productive for me personally and with my trading style to just be laddering in spot buys, which is exactly what I've been doing. I have been purchasing small amounts of spots since upwards of 55K up here when we had our first drop. When we dropped down again, I was buying 48 and 50. When we dropped down again, I was buying this 200 EMA. And this morning I bought down here at about 33,000. And that was a major spot buy for me. The other ones were pretty small through here, a couple hundred or $1,000. And I did drop a $10,000 spot bid down at about 33K. I didn't buy 10,000 Bitcoin. I bought $10,000. Doesn't that yeah, no, not 10,000 Bitcoin. I'm not that much of a whale, guys. I mean, come on. I don't even think Crypto Cobain and Pepe and Kaleo are even rolling with that much. Okay, that is an insane amount of money. That's institution grade money. No, I didn't buy 10,000 Bitcoin, $10,000. Okay, and I have other spot bids like that laddered down further. Mine at 30,000 didn't trigger. I was within $100 of that triggering. That would have been a really sweet buy for me, especially now off this wick. I probably would have been taking profits off of that and selling that on spot, just for some spot profits. But in general, I personally do have humongous ladders all the way down to about 25 grand. I don't know as if we're going to be getting there yet, right? I mean, right, guys, nobody's got a crystal ball. If I had a crystal ball, then we'd all be billionaires, right? So those are some of the positives that are going on with this. Now, what I do want to bring your attention to is this is getting a little worrisome because this cloud is flipping red over here. Okay, it's only one candle right now. This candle is what caused this to happen, but the cloud is flipping red in front of us. So technically, from this candle close, if you were playing high time frame swings with Ichimoku cloud, this would have been your confirmation for a short, right? Lagging span is below the price action. Price action is below the cloud. Increasing bearish volume. And on this next candle, this turned red. So that would have been your confirmation for a short if you were trying to short this. So just some quick information about if you guys are trying to trade this, and I'll get into lower time frames here in just a minute for you guys. If you guys are using any kind of leverage whatsoever at all, you guys need to absolutely make sure that you're keeping that shit to a minimum, no more than 1 or 2x. 3x certainly at like the absolute max in my opinion. And you should only be applying leverage right now to short trades because obviously, in the last, month or whatever, the trend is down. So be extremely careful with that because you have to keep your liquidations in mind. So if you're doing any of this on leverage, you're standing a really, really high chance of getting rolled in with that $8 billion worth of people, that have ended up getting liquidated on this. What's your advice on navigating the market from today onwards? I am going to be sticking with my plan, which is sitting in Tether, and sitting in Tether and spot, and just laddering in spot bids. Okay, that's been my plan all along. Since we started making this initial drop from 65, I started getting really timid up here, even during this drop when we leveled off, and it started looking to me like these markets were flipping over because of this really, really long divergence that we've had on our indicators, even on our MACD here. And as usual, if it's not an up only tweet, people don't like that. But it is what it is. So let's come down to a 4 hour and see what we got here. You can just see the this this massive wick that we've had to the downside. I can't believe that this touched almost 30K on the nose. That's really nuts. Another thing to look out for here is this is the first time for a while now, over the last few days, week or whatever, that we've been in this bottom half of our RSI since back here earlier in April. Okay. Reading on social media that institutions have dumped Bitcoin due to Tether FUD. If you can, post a link to that, and I'll read that real quick and gather my thoughts on that. I haven't heard that, but something like this, that is absolutely possible. That this is institutions pulling out, taking profits and stuff like that. Here's the thing, guys. Okay, look. Elon Musk is one person. Doesn't matter how many followers he has. Doesn't matter how good he is well known worldwide. Okay, one tweet is not going to make Bitcoin go from $65,000 to $30,000. Okay, I don't care who you are. I don't care if Warren Buffett said that he owned Bitcoin and he dumped it. Something like that is not going to have this kind of an effect on the market. This is a lot of things going on at the same time. This is miners giving up. This is small retail and dumb money giving up and selling at a loss. This is institutions taking profits. This is tax day with all of these new tax regulations that are going to be in the United States. That Biden is going to be increasing. This is a lot of things together. Okay. This is also the value of the US dollar falling. The value of the US dollar is falling because the consumer index and the gas prices are shit. Okay. There's a lot of things going on right now with the markets that is all contributing to this. And there's a lot of separate factors that are in that pertain to Bitcoin individually that contribute to this as well. Okay. There's a lot of really good posts on this. Unfortunately, I don't have a membership to Glassnode. I think we can see some of their information for free, but I can't see all of it because I don't have a paid membership to this site. Mine is with High Block Capital, and Glassnode also has very, 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 very good information on this. This is active addresses, derivatives exchange. Yeah, see, so there's a lot of this stuff that I can't see. All these are tier 2 and tier 3. So I can't really see. I guess I can only see the tier 3 stuff, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah, no tier 2 stuff, only it won't let me see these either. So I guess what can I see? Nothing on here without an account. Will it let me see miners? It'll let me see block height, but I don't want that information. Hash rate. Wow. The hash rate dropped like crazy here. It's looking like I can't see too much. I really wish that I had the post. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. Props to, I think his name is Phoenix or something. Damn, I forgot. Phoenix Bitcoin. Man, I really wish I knew what the post was. There was a guy that had he did like a really, really, really long thread with a whole bunch of these charts, and I forgot what his handle was. So if you guys saw that, make sure that you post that in the chat for everybody else. Yeah, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to see any of the main charts on here that I wanted to see, which kind of sucks, but it's only letting me see the general ones. If we look at Grayscale, what's Grayscale doing? Absolutely nothing. It looks like Grayscale is just holding. The premium went down, obviously, because the price went down. Assets under management is kind of increasing. Looks like they might be actually buying the dip on this. Yeah, I can't really. It's unfortunate that I can't. I'm gonna have to make an account on here. How much is it? Whoa. Jesus. Yeah, no, I don't know about all that. That's doing a little too much right there. This is all right. $40 a month or $30 yearly. I don't know. I'll have to check. I'll have to check that stuff out later. My transaction is still like taking forever. That's another thing, guys. If you guys were looking to be like transferring funds or do whatever you guys need to do, yeah, it's going to take a long ass time today. Networks are clogged. It's going to take a long time. I was transferring because I wanted to start trading this, start shorting stuff, start buying tokens on spot and things like that. And I'm going to be doing all of that on FTX and just transferring funds over to that exchange and switching over to that exchange right now, mostly so that everybody in the premium Telegram can check that out. If you're not in the Telegram yet, there's a free one. Make sure that you check the link down in the description below. You guys can check that out. And I'll go ahead and talk about the premium version of that later on at the end of the stream. But if you're trying to transfer Bitcoin over to do anything right now, it's going to take a while. My transaction, I paid as most as I could. I paid the max that I could in fees. And the transaction is still quoted to take a few hours. So I don't know what the deal is going to be with that. We're going to touch 20K before this is over. It's possible. Let me actually just refresh this. And let's go to tier 3 and look at how many degenerates there are still trying to long the shit out of this on leverage. Probably a lot. I don't think the market has washed everybody out yet, but it's looking like we might be getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close here. So basically, once Binance came back online, everybody was hopping into longs when they saw the price recover. So that's what this is. This is hype thinking that we caught a bottom. A lot of these guys are probably going to get wiped out. I wouldn't doubt that we go back down to 33 and just wipe all this liquidity. But there is a good chance, looking at this liquidity chart, that as long as it keeps wiping out these guys over and over and over again, it's looking like we might be set to be moving back up. Am I calling a bottom? No, not yet. I'm not confident in this price action. I'm not confident enough in this to be calling a bottom right now. So definitely not calling a bottom, but I don't think that the macro top is in either. You know what I mean? Like I really don't think that the macro top is in yet. Let's go to a 1 hour chart. That's a really solid bounce here on the 1 hour chart. That's actually pretty good. And see, there's no divergence here, right? Lower low, lower low, lower low. This is good. That's the kind of thing that you want to see on the 1 hour plus time frames, is not seeing divergence on these. Because if this was divergence where we made a higher low on the RSI, but a lower low in price, this bounce would be even more short-lived than this. We probably wouldn't have even gotten up here yet. So there's been a lot of really big blasts of humongous sell-offs throughout this entire thing here. The last one we had was here. So what I can generalize from this volume analysis is that I'm assuming this was the Elon Musk tweet right here, and we leveled off, we moved further down. And then this all happened last night, and today this was Asia session, panic selling. And then once European markets, like once London opened and the US opened this morning, this was just total and utter panic selling of retail. So, I mean, we can bring this down to even smaller time frames, but, we're not really seeing too much here. There aren't very many people left in the market right now that's retail that is going to be buying on spot. So I'm doing my part. Let's see. What am I expecting? When am I expecting to call a bottom? I mean, if this bottom holds and we get confirmation of that, that'd be great. On these small time frames, if we saw something like this, where we, weren't breaking down through this trend line, and then we made another higher high compared to this up here, and we broke through this, right? If we broke through this up here, and we were able to flip 40 back into support, then that would probably be a good sign that a bottom is probably in. But there's, even on these smaller time frames, there's just a lot of levels of support and resistance up in here that need to be broken to the top side. So generally coming back from the top side is a lot more difficult than just straight up nuking like we have been. So we're kind of sharing in the pain together and just, doing our thing. This shot up so quickly that even on this 15-minute time frame, we're getting a bearish cross here on our MACD. So I don't know. There's it's not, honestly, it's not looking too great on the 15-minute chart either, right? We barely broke back above our Tenkan and Kijinsen lines. Huge red cloud above us. We're below the 50 EMA. 30-minute time frame. People are shorting the Kijinsen here, so that's why we're seeing resistance here on this 30-minute and probably 1 hour time frame. Yep, everybody's shorting the Kijinsen line right here, which is normally a place to bid if it's bullish, and it's a place to short if it's bearish. So keep that in mind. Little pro tip there. Okay, seems like huge sell-offs always get a little. Seems like huge sell-offs always get a little bounce, but I think, sorry, I had a brain fart. Sorry, Chris. But I think we end up going back down at least to fill in that 4-hour candle. Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning before when I said that normally wicks end up getting filled. It's the same thing like with the CME chart. I know that you guys are gonna fucking either leave the stream or call me a meme or a LARP or whatever, but where is that chart? Our CME chart, okay? This chart is still extremely relevant, and this chart is still extremely important. And whoever thinks it's not is kind of crazy, because we've got a lot of gaps here that need to get filled. Okay, this one, actually, this one isn't relevant anymore. This one got filled here. Okay, that one's done. This gap down here has been sitting here forever and has not gotten filled ever. Okay, and that's between basically 27,000 and 24,000. So if this was to keep on going, I would probably call this a bottom. Okay, if I had to guess, that would probably be a bottom. This would absolutely have to hold in order to stay bullish. But for right now, excuse me, on the 4-hour chart, there's not really too many gaps in price here. This is the only one that we have, and this is between 49.3 and 46.6. So coming back to the upside from here, if we were able to make a close above 46,000, chances are we would rock it up and retest about 51. So that's what I would be looking for here. I'm still waiting for funds to be cleared on the network so that they can get transferred to the exchange, so that hopefully, as price starts developing more throughout the day, I might be able to take some small positions on this. Let's look at oil's at 63. Even oil dropped off today. Okay, even oil dropped off from yesterday and today. So that's not good either. 66 down to 62. We're having oil problems in the United States. Apparently Russia tried to hack our infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's caused a major shortage in it's not a shortage, but it's caused issues with our supply chain here in the United States. Those that aren't from the US or whatever, just a little background on that. So real quickly, let me take a look at I lost all my bookmarks when I changed. It's not Market Watch. I think it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah, I think I normally use this one. What are today's major events here? Core inflation rate year over year. Okay, that didn't really have too much of an effect. Inflation rate year over year was higher than expected. So this was probably not good for us. All of these are low impact. Core inflation rate year over year for April. Okay. It's mostly just inflation rates. And let me tell you what, guys, this is what has been tanking markets. Okay. So all of these inflation rate numbers and stuff that have been coming out, that's not good. Okay. And these were for, let's see, this is for the United States, FOMC minutes, 20-year bond. Yeah. Some of these numbers coming out are not that great, especially for Canada. That was really bad. That went up a lot, 0.2%. That's a lot to go up. So all of these numbers, you have to take these in mind across markets globally as a whole. Yesterday, did the United States have anything crazy yesterday? No. No, not really. And tomorrow's an easy day. So tomorrow I'm thinking we probably just move sideways. Anyway, I like taking things like that into account. Man, the volume has just been wild. Wow. So let's look at the weekly chart on this and see what we can kind of deduce from this. So the last time that this was this high was actually not even this wick or this wick. It was actually back here on 624.19. So if we go to the Bitcoin chart and we look at 624.19, where's 624.19? Oh, whoop, I went back too far. It's over here, basically. Okay, so this is the last time that we had highest volatility, was when we were reaching our market top in 2019. Okay, this was basically literally that was our top before we started heading down. So volatility, it doesn't really give you a direction. It's just how much volatility is in the market for Bitcoin in general. And where the hell was my chart? Sorry, my brain is going crazy today. So that's the last time that we've really been this high on the volatility scale. Okay, that's a lot higher than usual. Normally, when you start seeing numbers up here like that, especially if the RSI for the volatility starts peaking into overbought, normally that signifies either you're coming to be close to a top or a bottom. And this is a very, very strong move for the day. That's why a lot of people thought that this was going to be the top or the bottom, because we broke this previous volatility bar. Longs versus shorts on Bitfinex. These charts are kind of irrelevant now. I'm kind of surprised to see shorts going down, but longs going up on the daily chart, but sure, why not? This is, I think, people exiting their short positions. So that might be a good thing. That's also a sign that maybe there's a little more confident in the market with this being a bottom now. So that could potentially be good. And let's look at Ethereum. Wow. Okay. Major tap of support here. See, and here's the thing, guys. You have to remember, we were so bullish for so long. Seeing a retrace like this, and some kind of correction like this is really necessary for, the longevity of any kind of bull run that you're going to see. Now, obviously, this could completely break down. We could just keep going down and, you could go right back down to $1,000 or sub $1,000 ETH. Absolutely. As we stand right now, this is over a 55% correction for Ethereum. And for Bitcoin, it's looking like this is, what are we at now? To the low. almost 54%. That is a very, very significant correction to have. Probably one of the largest ones that we have had for Bitcoin in the middle of a bull run. I want to say ever, which is why I'm starting to lean a little more bearish on this. Seems like huge sell-offs always get a little bounce, but I think we end up going back up. I think that comment was already there. Yeah, that comment was already there. So again, so what are really my plans for this, right? Again, I can't trade this because my funds haven't cleared on the exchange yet. So I'm kind of upset about that. So I can't trade. And I've just been buying spot this entire time, this whole way down. I've just been laddering spot bids. Had one here, had one at the bottom of the channel, had one here, and then I just did again this morning, like I mentioned, at 33,000 with a really big one. My next really big one wouldn't be for a while. Like, we would have to come down a lot further than this for me to place another really, really big spot bid, because in my opinion, I really think that we bounce here. This looks like some kind of, not a capitulation wick, because this is not capitulation. If this is your first bull run in digital assets, this is not what capitulation looks like. I will show you what capitulation looks like. That is capitulation. Okay, this. Just straight down thousands and thousands of dollars, or it would be more relative to put it into percentage. Okay. This is that's a capitulation move. That's a 58% move. And that's honestly what I'm kind of feeling like just happened here. The last time that we saw that was a bottom. We started slowly grinding up, and then that was the beginning of 2020 and into the bull market. Okay. It's extremely possible that that's what we could be seeing happen here again. So if we bring a fractal up for that, what would that look like? How close, how similar is it? Right. Let's just say that's the situation here. Okay. Candle is almost the same size. Okay. It's almost the same size. Very, very close in size here. I got the tops lined up. So tapping the very bottom of this box, absolutely possible. And this actually lines up very well with the resistance and support lines of this trend channel here. So if I was just to extend this over, okay, that's what that would look like. That it's great, kind of crazy how that happens. So this is obviously some bull hopium here. I'm actually probably just going to post this on Twitter real quick. Let me just save this. Anyway. So this is some bull hopium. It's absolutely possible that something like this happens. But right now, I'm not holding my breath. I really need to see spot bids coming into the market. I need to see more analysis from either myself. I'll probably end up purchasing a membership to Glassnode and figure out what that's about. But for right now, if we take a look at this and refresh this one more time on Binance, and I'm going to do BitMEX here in a second as well. I want to see what the deal is with BitMEX, because BitMEX, surprisingly enough, more volume is actually coming back into BitMEX since I guess they're under new management or whatever. I personally do not recommend using that exchange. It's really sketchy. They've got a lot of legal problems. And honestly, in my opinion, they're probably not going to make it. Whenever we do have a confirmed bear market, like let's say this was the top and we're in a bear market right now and we're just going to go sideways for the rest of the summer, that's absolutely possible. If that's going to be a thing, I don't think BitMEX personally and some of these smaller exchanges, like Dudex and Femex, any of the exchanges certainly that are like, they want to charge monthly fees just to have you place conditional orders. That's fucking bullshit. Okay. If an exchange doesn't order, if they don't have normal orders for everybody for making an account, then in my opinion, that's not an exchange that you should be using. And just with all of the legal stuff right now that's surrounding BitMEX, I would just personally avoid that in general. As you guys have seen, I don't promote Bybit either. I used to be an affiliate with them. And once I found out how much wash trading and fake volume was on their exchange, I just didn't feel comfortable doing like promoting that exchange, because there's so much wash trading. There's so much fake volume on it. And you guys all know SBF Alameda, right? If you guys actually go to ftx.com and you guys go to, where is it? Not funding. Is it volume monitor? Yeah. You guys can actually see here that this has 3 dots next to it. So this is Bybit's own, this is FTX's own analysis live of all of the volume that's going on in exchanges. They actually had to put a denotation here next to Bybit saying website test results vary, sometimes clean, sometimes fake. So that was just more confirmation to me that, yeah, Bybit is basically a whole bunch of bullshit. And then obviously you've got, Binance, Huobi, OKEx, FTX, and Upbit, surprisingly, in the top 5. BitMEX used to be number 1 or 2. Coinbase used to be number 2 or 3. And it's kind of crazy how the tables have turned on this. So FTX, I'm going to be trading on exclusively. I will drop a ref link for those that want to sign up in the free Telegram, so that you guys can start onboarding onto this exchange. They got options. They're doing more Forex pairs. They do all the DeFi tokens. Their exchange never goes down. There's never a system overload. There's never issues with withdrawals. And if there's ever maintenance time or downtime, they always notify you in advance, unlike all of these other derivatives exchanges. Okay. So, it's going to be kind of complicated for me to trade here, because whenever I have to trade here, I have to go to my office in Greenland. So I will also place a link to protect yourselves on the internet for security and privacy reasons, also for a VPN in the Telegram. Also, make sure you check out all those other links down in the description below. I believe the VPN link is already down in there, so you guys can get a free 30 days on that and test it out. It's the only one that I've ever used for about five or so years now, which I think I'm in my office in Greenland right now. Hold on one second. I just got an email. Nothing important. Okay. So looking at this chart is scary, right? Especially for a lot of you guys that haven't been around in this space. And what I can tell you from looking at this is that this move, unfortunately, and you guys are probably not going to want to hear this, but in my opinion, I do not think that this move is over. Okay. I don't think this is over. I think that we sit down here in the bottom half of our RSI for quite some time. And this is actually too high on this chart. This is supposed to be at 35,000. I don't know. How did this move on me? I don't know how that moved. Where do you see the spot bids? Well, there isn't really a way to see the spot bids, but there is a couple tools that you can use. Let me just bring up more things here. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Let me just bring up some more things here. This can go to the end. Let's see. Scalp index. Okay. So this is, I like to, wow, the fear and greed is down to 23. That's really, really good. That's another thing, guys. This wasn't completely unexpected. If you guys have been paying attention to the fear and the greed index, it has literally, the greed was at one point, it was at like 97. And from some of these like $5,000 and $10,000 retraces, it only made it down to like 70. Like that's still really, really high on the fear and greed index. If you want more information about how this is calculated, you guys can read up on that here. This is alternative.me, and you guys can get all of that information here. This is a really good indication of if the markets are just in general overvalued or undervalued. Okay, so it kind of goes in and explains all of this to you. I'm not going to read all of this to you right now, but this is basically how it's calculated. So 25% of the calculation is volatility, 25 is market momentum, 25 is social media And then they also include dominance as well as trends, and that's what they use to calculate this number. Okay, so this updates again in another 8 hours. So this is kind of an important thing to be watching. The reason why I like watching the scalp index is because you can see where the big whales are placing their bids and see the humongo bids on the order books, as well as this will also display iceberg orders. Iceberg orders are on OTC markets, so they're not going to be seen on the normal derivatives order books. Okay, even if you're using a tool like this that I mentioned before. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here. Even if you guys are using a tool like this, where it'll give you all of the information for all of the exchanges on the order books, all of these are derivatives exchanges. Okay. All of these are derivatives exchanges. So let me turn the sound off for this. I know that you guys can't hear it, but it's very annoying for me. This will tell you all of the big bids coming in, all of the all of the major exchanges. Okay, so this is kind of like a global order book. If you don't have like a proprietary trading platform that gives all of these things to you, there are places that you can go on the internet to get all of this information and get all of these tools for free. But unfortunately, they're all browser based. And the more tabs you have open, the more system resources it uses. And when this is going nuts and you've got all of these things up at the same time, it can lag your computer. Mine's a little more of a beefy system because I do a lot of freelance work and things like that, graphic editing, motion design. So I have an extremely beefy system. So for me, it's not a problem, but for some of you guys that are trading on like, 5-year-old MacBooks and shit, keeping all these things open can sometimes give you a problem. Even the Binance desktop app, it's total garbage. It even lags my computer. And it uses way too many system resources. But anyway, this is a really good platform for looking at, it'll show you where people are placing iceberg orders, right? So 28 minutes ago, somebody bought $2.6 million on spot at 37,100. 35 minutes ago, so a few minutes before that, there was a hidden sell order. Somebody was panic selling $1.7 million to get out of the market. Before that, about an hour ago, look at this, $3.5 million hidden buy order on spot, okay? So this tells you throughout the day, and it obviously updates live where all of those hidden iceberg orders are, okay? So that's kind of the best explanation that I can give you, Marco, on where to see spot orders. Spot orders are all going to be on OTC. Since they're hidden from derivatives exchanges, they're referred to as iceberg orders. And those are on a completely different order book because they're spot orders, big spot orders. You can't place, an order to buy, $3 million just with a normal account on a derivatives exchange. Even if they offer purchasing spot, that's normally not something you can do. You have to call their OTC desk and physically, have them average you in a price, because otherwise it'll manipulate the markets. So that's pretty much what's going on with the order books right now in terms of global. Everything is just kind of a clusterfuck right now. So we really need to be seeing these levels hold. I want to see these levels hold. And in general, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to be looking at alts. I mean, this kind of gives you the clear picture of what's happening with alts. Like, I don't really need to explain this to you guys. You guys are very well aware. Everything is down at least 5%. Most of them are down 20 to 40%. I've seen some as high as 50%. Some of the higher ones were like 1 inch, dot, LTC was down really, really far. And all of this stuff is sales. A lot of these are already starting to bounce back. Like, look at this crazy wick. If you caught this wick and you bought down at, 20, 30 bucks, you're already back up to 45. There was a lot of really nice scalp plays in this, and I'm fucking pissed because my money hasn't transferred to FTX. I transferred it before this happened this morning, and I'm still waiting. So I completely missed all of these wicks to the downside on all these pairings that would have been extremely nice, low leverage, long scalps. I missed every single one of these. I mean, look at Litecoin here, right? We tapped a major level of 4-hour support that goes back to here historically. Okay, back in January, February. So I don't even want to call this 4-hour support. It's just support. Okay. There's no reason to have these descriptors here anymore. They're just major levels of support or resistance. The time frame no longer matters. And we tapped right here, major level, right? All these lines, you know, I've had drawn forever. So as I go through these, we'll probably see a whole bunch that I've already done analysis on that have support and resistance lines drawn. This line broke. That's Uniswap. Oof. Let's see. XRP. I fucking hate XRP anyway. XRP, I guarantee you, in a bear market, this is just going to totally crash. This will go back down to 25 cents. I want to short XRP into the ground. I hate XRP. Win, Theta, Vet. Let's look at SXP. Yeah, again, I mean, just everything had those huge capitulation wicks because, again, a lot of these things are paired with Bitcoin, right? So when Bitcoin has a huge capitulation move or a huge move to the downside like this to wipe liquidity, that kind of happens across all the pairings because Bitcoin is going to drag all those other pairings down, okay? It's just like when Bitcoin was going all the way up to $65,000, all the altcoins, you know, it was one of those rare times that altcoins and Bitcoin were going up together. That's why a lot of pairings that they're all paired with Bitcoin. It's like legacy markets. Everything in the United States is paired with the US dollar, right? Okay. So when the dollar goes up, stocks tend to go up, right? Because the value of the dollar increases. That means that the value of the stocks increase. Same thing with digital assets. If the value of Bitcoin goes down, it drags the value of a whole bunch of altcoins down with it because everything is paired with it. Okay. Makes sense. So SXP would have been a good, wow, this just barely tapped into that major support zone that we have on the daily chart. That's pretty nuts. Just wicked into it barely. So this is an extremely strong level of support in here between like $5 and $6. So everybody wants Serum at $5 or less. It's major demand. Sol, same deal. Basically, everything wicked everybody out of their positions, and it's just really sketchy because as this was happening, the Binance exchange went down. So anybody that was in any of their positions or whatever, Binance exchange, their servers went down. They were having issues, and you know, as the price was going down and doing that, you couldn't do anything about your positions because Binance servers was down. That's some bullshit. FTX doesn't do that. But yeah, pretty much everything had a wick here. Even some of these shit coins had a wick. Look at Matic. Matic on the daily chart just looks disgusting. That's crazy. Let's see. Litecoin, huge failure of this ascending channel here. Huge failure of that. I was only at 2x leverage for most, even DCA down for the initial dump levels, yet ultimately got liquidated. What can I do to avoid such in the future? Don't use leverage. If you were dollar cost averaging the whole way down, but you were using leverage, that's probably why you got liquidated. What can you do to avoid it in the future? Just don't use leverage when there's crazy volatility like this. These are not, it's like Star Wars. These are not the wicks you're looking for, right? I mean, honestly, guys, like that's kind of true. Like, I mean, trying to catch the bottom of this is very, 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 very risky. Especially with such a down move, you know, like you guys know that I'm infamous for, you know, like catching retraces and stuff like that using fib extensions, you know, on the higher time frames and playing these smaller pops and stuff like that. But this move like this is not something that I would be attempting to catch a bottom of. I mean, you're talking a massive move that's, you know, 50, 60%. You're not going to try and catch a bottom on that. Even if you're dollar cost averaging into a position, you don't want to be doing that with leverage. I've just been dollar cost averaging with spot bids. That's it. The lower it goes, the more that I buy. And you know, that's pretty much that. Even Link here, you know, it rejected from this lower level of resistance that we had, and even Link went down. How much did it go down? from this last most recent move went down another 50%. Basically, everything was down at some point about 50% today. So that's kind of the way that it's looking right now. It's not looking hot. BitTorrent token just completely destroyed. Even BNB. I knew that BNB was going to come down. BNB should have never been up to almost $700. In my opinion, that's extremely overvalued for BNB. In my opinion, this is the range that it should be in. You know, between $200 and $300. I don't know how. I guess it was just hype that got it up here, but all of those exchange tokens, in my opinion, were extremely overvalued. Atom hit our support levels perfectly. Okay. That was a perfect touch of these levels that we've had drawn since way back here in January. Let's come up to a daily chart. Yeah, no, Matic doesn't Matic doesn't give a fuck. Perp super strong. BNB was my biggest loser. CZ hype. Yeah, basically it was all CZ hype. And the reason why the BNB token went up so far is because the reason why BNB went up so far is because of the Binance Smart Chain. Okay, so that's pretty much the reason why. But most everything now has reached and leveled off at a major level of support and tapped into a historic level of support. Yeah, man, no problem. Jaspreet, I'm gonna forget that. I'm just gonna call you Jasper. Sorry. I know I butcher names, man. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of you guys are from all over the world. I'm so terrible at pronouncing crazy names. Not that your name is crazy, but I have issues pronouncing names. I'm white. Forgive me. Jesus. Let's see. Engine. Oh my goodness. Delete all this crap. Yeah, Jasper. Cool. We'll go with that one. Yeah, see, and ENJ, in my opinion, engine, this has way more to go, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, I would be looking for this wick to fill. I want to see a tap of this area here. Like, this is something that I've been watching closely. I would want this area. Somewhere in here, I want this. This is what I want. We didn't quite make it there yet. E-Gold just got completely obliterated. This looks actually kind of normal for E-Gold with big, humongous wicks to the downside like that. DOT as well broke through major resistance. We've got another level of support here. Another level of support here. I don't have a lot of these lower levels of support drawn because, well, I mean, we weren't really going down to those, right? Docs, CRV. CRV I've been watching, obviously, for quite some time, I guess since back here when we first broke out of this. So those lines are already drawn here. This is actually looking kind of bullish. This is holding or trying to, well, I mean, it's holding the channel at least, which is a good thing. But at this point, honestly, since we have more information now, I'd almost be tempted to be drawing this here at this upper limit. But yeah, it failed. Basically, we failed to hold the top of this channel, and now it's breaking back inside. We're testing the median line on Cody. So this is one that's looking a little stronger here. Why is... Man, I don't understand why, man, YouTube is like killing me with the freaking hiding replies on the chat. Want to say I really appreciate your insights. So not to give an ounce of attention to the retards who give you heat. Yeah, so many people give me heat. That's part of the reason why I'm going private. I don't want to wake up in the morning and read hate mail and death threats. Sorry, guys. Even when I launched my website, you know what the first email was that I got from somebody that used my my questions, my contact info box or whatever on the website? I got an email saying, "You're such a loser. Why did you choose such a corny name?" Really? Really? That's what your main concern is for the day? Okay, Mr. First World Problems, complaining about the name of someone else's handle on the internet. Like, get a freaking life. It's crazy. It's actually kind of nuts to me how much free time I guess people have on their hands. It's kind of nuts. Let's redo this. I don't know why I drew this all janky. Oof. Yeah, these in general are not looking good. Yeah, someone was making fun of my handle, like, "Ooh, why'd you choose such a corny name?" Who cares what the name is? It's about the content, like, fuck off. Anyway, yeah, I mean, all of these pairings, there's not really too much to go over here. Some of these got hit worse than others, like Atom, in general. CRV, I mean, you can just look at how much these are still down, and you can tell which ones got hit harder than others. Okay. Some of these got hit really hard, some of them not so much. This one's already back up. In 24 hours, it's actually up 1%. So this would be one to maybe be watching here. Maybe this has found a bottom, okay, on the daily chart. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. In general, longing anything, especially with leverage right now, is going to be very, 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 very risky. And if we just look at the indices here, I mean, we can see, okay, on these charts, like, this is not good. Okay. In general, that's not good. But the indicators, again, here, even on the indices, they've been resetting themselves, right? So no divergences, lower highs, higher lows. Same thing here. Well, except we did get a higher high on the MACD. But anyway, that would be hidden bullish divergence, right? With a lower high in price action and a higher high on the indicator. Yeah, no, I should have, but honestly, at the end of the day, it's not even worth my time. I just delete that kind of crap. You think 30K will be retested again? I'm still in my 66x long. Dude, if you're in a 66x leverage long from around 30K, then you need to take your profit on that and then fucking chill for the day and just be happy that you were able to make money, unlike so many others in this crazy volatility. Good on you for catching that. That's actually really impressive. Yeah, see, so the markets are starting to bounce back a little bit. And honestly, I think that we stand a really good chance that we could probably gap up here. If we see some positive price action, it's potential that we could, fill a gap here. So on here, that would be from, I guess, where did this gap start? I guess we're filling it right now. We're in the process of filling it. So that would be almost 1% on the Dow Jones indice. So that would be very nice. 1% on the Dow Jones is a lot more on Bitcoin. So, and that's kind of what we're starting to see here. So you can, kind of tell, like, okay, if we bring these charts up side by side here and we bring up, oops, what is VeriSign doing? Hold on. What's VeriSign doing? VeriSign's coming back too. It's back over 200. What was I looking at? Sorry. I got a brain freeze. Okay, daily chart. So let's look at 4 hour. Okay, so you can kind of see here, kind of the same thing is happening, right, on these charts. Okay, so damn it, same thing. S&P 500 on the 4 hour chart. We're getting a little bounce. Okay, so that's kind of what I like to look at. I caught along at 31K and 2000 ETH, just closed everything. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, guys. If you guys were lucky enough to get in on these wicks and and fucking make some profits on those, there's always another trade. Okay, yeah, sure. We could go to 60K from here and you could be kicking yourself that you didn't leave your fucking leverage position open from $30,000. But here, at the end of the day, the chances of that happening are a hell of a lot smaller than the chances of us continuing to see further downside. Okay, so take the profits while you can. Nobody went broke by paying themselves. Okay, that's basically what I'm trying to tell you. No one went broke by paying themselves. If you made some kick-ass scalps today, being risky and using leverage, which is not something that I condone in this kind of thing. If you did that, be proud of yourself. Okay. Pat yourself on the back. Good job from me. Okay. Good job, guy, for doing that. And, yeah, take the profits on it. And if Bitcoin goes lower, buy spot. Don't open up more leveraged positions. Stop leveraging yourselves. Okay. That's my best advice, in this kind of thing. Unless you're going short, and you're shorting these retraces. Like for me, obviously, I probably wouldn't do this in legacy markets. Let me switch back to full screen here. I wouldn't be doing this in legacy markets, but like on this 1 hour chart here, I would be looking like if I was looking to short, I would be shorting up here. I'd be shorting this. This is resistance. This is resistance. This is resistance. Yeah, I'm probably going to be one of those assholes that's buying spot as every time we go lower, and I'm shorting the bounces. I'm selling when we move higher. That's how you play a bear market, right? Just like I told you guys a while ago, to get ready for a bear market, you guys can invert the scale on your chart. Well, we can go back to pretending it's a bull market, right? Where do you want to be buying resistance? Okay, if this was a bullish chart, where would you be buying? You'd be buying these support levels. Right? That's where you want to be buying. So if that's where you would be buying, but the chart is inverted, you would actually be selling there. Okay. So just, keep that in mind. That's how I trained myself to survive bear markets. Let me go back to not inverted. Okay. And you could probably really confuse people with some of those charts right now. If you post on Twitter, sometimes I troll people and do that. Got to go, Kobra Trading. Great live stream as usual. Keep calm, everyone. Let this be a lesson for a lot of us. Take profits from time to time. It can go down very quickly like today. Yeah, absolutely. This is some next level coping mechanism. Well, I mean, we're pretty much all here coping right now, and we are seeing a pretty strong buyback. Does this mean that we're seeing a liquidation, a small liquidation run? Is that what whoa, what the hell? Fuck just happened? Chart got messed up. Hold up. Okay, tier 3. There's a lot on tier 4 actually, so I'm going to take a look at that in a second. So these tiers, it just separates it by volume. Okay, so I think tier 3 is everything up to like 40 million or something. And then I think the higher tier above that is like 50 million or something like that. Yeah, so it's looking like we're getting a little short squeeze here. At the end of the day, I can almost promise you, obviously the Chinese FUD and all of that stuff, I see a squeeze happening, maybe to 40K. But I think you're going to see major resistance at 40K. For me personally, that's where I would be attempting to, possibly be taking a little bit of profits on my spot buys and potentially maybe opening up a small short position. I want to see Bitcoin go up as much as the next guy, but until we start breaking through like really important levels like 42,000 and re-break our previous, all-time high again. Until we start breaking through levels like 42, yeah, I'm just not confident in this coming up. Yeah, sure, we'll liquidate a lot of stuff. The market is just swallowing up liquidity right now. And that's what the market is attempting to do. It wants to wash out traders like you and me that are trying to use leverage and stuff. Resistance at 41. Yeah, about if we zoom in even further here and just take a look at these immediate levels, this is pretty much where we're at. Okay. So we've got a thick block of liquidations
to 40 and 41,000. And then after that, we kind of have a gap up here near like 43 or whatever. That would be the absolute highest that we go. And you're not going to see all of these get liquidated at once because, again, down here, you have to remember the green ones are the 100X. The blue ones, or the light blue ones, are the 50X, and the dark blue ones are the 25X. So most of these are just little 25X leverage positions. We went up right now because we just liquidated a whole bunch of 50 and 100X shorters, okay, that are trying to short this bottom. In general, over the last 4 hours, the buys and the sells have been almost even in terms of liquidity. So that's another reason why I think that we might see the market end up going sideways here for a little bit. If we check back on scalp index, looks like 1 minute ago, somebody had a hidden buy order. Okay, see, that's, again, more information. How come the price just went up? Is it a long squeeze? Is it retail? Well, yeah, it is retail. Somebody a minute ago just had a spot bid of 1.6 million. And if the price comes back down, if this order wasn't completely filled, you will see this number tick and go up over time as it keeps getting filled. Okay. This is a massive amount of liquidations that we've had in a day. We haven't seen this many since way back here when we had this big drop. Okay. Back in early April. Okay. So that is a massive buyback here. I really wish that my transaction would have cleared. Did it still not clear yet? Nope. Unconfirmed. Fantastic. It's been sitting here for 2 hours and it is unconfirmed. Great. What happened? Here we go. Cool. Anyway. This is a very strong buyback here. That's looking pretty good. What does my algo say on this? Let's load up the algo, guys. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's load up the algo. You guys want to see what the algo is doing? Type Y in the chat if you guys want to see what the algo is doing. Let's take a look at this real quick, and then we'll take a look at a super trend as well. It looks like we might be closing above our volume weighted average here, which is good. And I have this set for 200 period. Okay, so this is a 200-day average here, but obviously only on the daily chart. That obviously changes when I come down to lower time frame. So if we go down to an hour here, we're just flipping green with this one candle on the algo. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I would probably wait another 2 hours or so to have confirmation on if that's going to hold. I wouldn't be jumping into a trade on that right now. You always want to wait for confirmation, especially on some of the higher time frames, right? So let's come down to a 15-minute and see what the deal is. So for a 15-minute or a 5-minute, that was a pretty solid scalp here. So anybody that was getting in on that huge wick, yeah. I don't blame you. Algo turned green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that was your confirmation. And then you wanted to wait for more volume to come in. So for me, my entry probably would have been in here, somewhere in here, seeing this hold. And yeah, that's continuing with further upside. Broke back above our 200, I guess 200 times 5 or whatever, our 5,000 minute, whatever, 10,000 minute moving average here. So on Ethereum, this chart never really flipped red. Like, it's trying to flip red here, but even still, I don't think both lines would be flipping red if it flipped here. The 4 hour obviously flipped. No sign of bullishness on the 4 hour. No sign of bullishness on the 1 hour. And the 15-minute, again, only both of these are on the 15 and 5-minute chart. Only both of these are starting to flip green now. And as you can see here, throughout this entire time, if you guys look at this, this entire time we have had moments where it's flipped green, and those have in general been scalp plays. Okay. This was a scalp play. This was a scalp play. This was a scalp play. This was a very tiny scalp play. This one honestly probably would have just landed you at break even. And this is also a very tiny scalp play. Even if you got in here on this candle, this is a scalp. I would have been taking profit on this resistance here, hitting the VWAP. Okay. The volume weighted average. Yeah, I would have been taking profits here. If I was long, this is where I'd be taking profits on a long, or at least closing half of the position, paying myself, and then leaving the rest of it open and moving my stop to break even so that I don't give any money back to the market. And honestly, that's a tactic that you guys should use. I don't know how many of you guys are new here, how many of you guys are in the Telegram or plan on, coming over to the premium Telegram with me, where I'm going to be going into more detail about this stuff. Live streams like this may or may not stay public on the regular. I'll probably still do live streams, but in terms of chart request live streams and like emergency updates and stuff like that, that's going to be for the more dedicated members that are paying for the content. But in general, things like this, when you see this happen, this is like a good part of some free alpha for you guys. Okay. Put a VWAP on your chart. Okay. If you're using a couple moving averages, that's great. Make a separate line and put a volume weighted, average on your chart. You really need to be doing that. And you can set this to different periods. Okay. So if I wanted to change this to, let's say I was on, obviously you have to do math to calculate this, but like if you want, like the daily, VWAP or whatever, and you're looking at a 15-minute time frame, you can change this. I think it would be like 280 or something like that. But, as it stands right now, 200 on the 15-minute, this is resistance here. If I was looking for opportunities on these charts, okay, this is where I would be looking. Okay. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait for a pullback, enter somewhere around here on this line as support, and this would have taken off. That would have been a great scalp. On Ethereum, pretty much same deal, right? Although this had kind of a later recovery, so I wouldn't have actually entered 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have entered until here on confirmation of this breakout, and I'd be long. If my funds had cleared in FTX, I'd be long from 2,600. We're already at 2,800. Those are nice scalp plays. So with volatility comes opportunity, but you really, really have to manage your risk very well. Okay, you don't want to get caught up in something crazy. What is our super trend telling us? This is another little algo that I've been working on. This is just a Stoch RSI. This is on a different time frame. 2 of these are on different time frames with modified settings and stuff like that. And both of these went long right at the bottom, right on this first candle. Bam, long signal. Very next candle, confirmation. And this bottom super trend line has stayed green. So that's your continuation indicator. This has stayed green the entire time here. So another pretty good indication of, again, smaller time frames. We're looking at a 5-minute chart here. This only goes back to 9 a.m. Just a few hours ago. So, if we bring it up to 15-minute, it's still green, albeit barely. But, you would have pretty much had, that same entry when this turned green. You would have taken a small long position, maybe an extra ladder down here with a stop below this last candle. And, your position would have looked something, something like this. Okay. You would have gotten in here. Okay. You probably would have your average entry probably would have been here or somewhere around here. Okay. Stop loss. And right now you're at 23% profit. It's already a 3-to-1 trade, and obviously looking for support and resistance levels to be taking profit. This would be honestly my first take profit level. It doesn't look like it's going to make it there. So right now I'd probably be, looking at closing half or at least a quarter and moving my stop to break even. Right now, this is a risk-free trade. Okay. You started at 3-1 and now it's, just all profit. Okay. So that's kind of how this works. On a 5-minute chart, it gives you a little more detail, right? Because you got more information, you got more candles. So for this, when this turned green, pretty much would have entered probably on a pullback. Average entry probably would have been around here somewhere. Stop would have been below here. Okay. And you're looking for a 3-1. So 3-1 is here. So this would already be half profit taken and stop at break even. This would also be a risk-free trade right now. I'm kind of upset that I haven't been able to take any of these trades because my shit is not on the exchange yet. I am upset. But anyway, good exit indicator up here, right? We're on the top of the overbought on the stock RSI, and we're getting a bearish cross. So if this candle confirms a bearish cross over here with our decreasing volume, okay, 1, 2, we're going to have 1, 2 bars on lower bullish volume. If you get a third and you get a confirmed bearish cross up here, then that's looking at thinking, okay, maybe it might be time to exit here and maybe possibly think about going short. Okay, that's kind of how this algo works. Now, Ethereum is actually a little bit ahead of that. Okay. And I like to use Ethereum as an exit indicator because this one flips over quicker because it's worth less money. It needs less volume for the price to move because it's worth less. It's not worthless. It's worth, less. Anyway, see how we got a red dot forming? Super trend might be flipping over here because we're crossing through this first super trend line. Okay. So we're coming back into territory. It crossed bearishly. This would be my exit signal. Okay. That's an exit signal for me. And the bullish volume just completely dropped off. And now we're getting bearish volume here instead. So this would probably be an exit symbol, an exit sign for me on a trend like this. We're getting really, really close here to this bottom super trend line. This doesn't really work too well on the 3-minute chart because the time things are different. Shorted the DeFi perp on FTX. Nice. Is that listed? I think that's listed, right? I can look at that on here, can I? DeFi, crypto, DeFi perp, FTX. Yeah, let's add that. Let's look at that. And I also want to color code this. DeFi perp. Yeah, just make a fucking scalp trade on it, and I would have a very conservative stop loss at like 1265 or 1255 or something. No more than probably 12,007. So yeah, pretty decent trade. That setup would look something like this for those of you that are joining him in that, or just my man's over here. You probably want to wait on the 5-minute chart for this candle to confirm. Let's say you entered here. Your stop loss would be close, probably up here, just above the super trend line and the high. And you're looking for a 3-1. Okay. 3-1 is here. That's a pretty decent support level. You might even be able to get it down to here, for like almost a 4-1 trade. Not a bad idea, but again, using leverage and stuff, you got to be really careful on that. I wouldn't want my stop too much higher than the super trend. But if this line breaks here and you get confirmation that this is going to continue lower, then in general, you're normally pretty good. Especially if you get a bearish volume bar on the next candle here. I would probably wait one more candle for confirmation before entering into that trade though. But yeah, pretty much an easy peasy, right? I mean, you're coming up to an area of resistance here on this chart. There's a clear level of resistance through here. Okay. That's a clear level of resistance. So basically you're betting that this resistance is going to break down. Just be careful with that. And, price kind of fluctuating here. That's why I said you want to wait for confirmations, especially if you're using a strategy like this that, you need to wait for, both of these to be green or whatever. You're waiting for a couple candles and then probably buying a pullback, at one of those support levels where the super trend was. So both of these turn green. This is my okay. You can go ahead and enter here. But obviously, I don't want to enter at the high of the trend. I want to enter on a pullback. So this level of support would be my pullback. This would have been my entry. That's my long. Okay. Getting in super early like this, that can screw you a lot of times. With this kind of an indicator. So I always wait for at least one to three candles at least of confirmation before jumping into any major trades. Let me bring this off the screen real quick. I want to go ahead and check to see, did my stuff clear? It still has not cleared. No, it has not cleared. Jesus Christ, man. I don't even think I'm going to be able to get to trade today, guys. I'm very pissed. I wanted to get into some live scalps and stuff. While I was on here, I set up a sub account on FTX that I was going to transfer funds over to for public trading. And it's looking like I'm not going to even get to do that today. That kind of sucks. I'm kind of disappointed. Considering the network is so slow, I guess what I'm going to do is, well, let me hear from you guys in the chat. Those of you that are still here, I've been live streaming now for almost an hour and a half, or a little over an hour and a half, actually. Let me go ahead and get some questions from you guys. I'm not going to do chart requests. Okay. Don't throw chart requests at me right now. Chart requests are freaking retarded right now. Everything is down. That's all you need to know. Everything is down. Some things are starting to bounce back, but in general, we need more confirmation before entering into any serious positions. This is exactly why I've been saying buy on spot, buy on spot, buy on spot. Don't use leverage. I've been saying this for like 2 weeks, and you guys haven't been listening. So I know that leverage gives you the opportunity to make very quick gains, guys. But at the end of the day, as I've heard from a lot of you that are in the free Telegram or that are in this, live stream right now. Oh my God, I got liquidated. My portfolio is down 60%. I'm down 50%. I'm down 40%. I lost 10% in a trade. What the fuck? I mean, I've been telling you guys since 55K before we had even hit 65K, I was telling you guys from 55K, be taking profits, be taking profits, be taking profits, sell the rips, take the profits. And everybody just kept, that's on you guys. I tell you these things for a reason. I've been doing this for years. I traded Forex for 4 years before I even got into trading cryptos. I was telling all you guys, take profits along the way, pay yourself. Nobody wanted to listen. So now you know. Would a daily close be enough confirmation of a local bottom? Yeah. I would love to see a daily close. If this candle turned green and flipped green, turning this into a green daily close with a wick like that would be a pretty massive signal of a bottom, in my opinion. It's clear that this candle was a liquidity grab. Okay. Like, it's clear that this wasn't, it's not market manipulation. Okay. Like $8 billion got liquidated today. That's what this candle is. That's what you're looking at. That's what $8 billion in liquidations on Bitcoin looks like. 4 years ago, if 10 million was liquidated in a day, that was like a major event. Holy shit, the price went down like $1,000, all hell broke loose. Now you're talking about in one candle, the price going from 42 to 30 in one candle and liquidating 8 to 10 billion dollars at a time. That just tells you how much more adoption there is in the space, how much more people are trading crypto, how many more institutions are in this. Okay. And that's a really big deal. Get some water real quick. How am I I'm good, Marco. How are you? And my camera is, hold on. Out of here with the autofocus crap. In my opinion, I mean, local bottom. I mean, yeah, that would be a local bottom on a macro scale. In my opinion, today was a fun day. Not gonna lie. Honestly, in my opinion, we're not gonna know that this is over. Until it's actually over. That's kind of what's hard to judge. With when you have like really significant moves like this, is you just don't know if that's going to be the bottom or not. I mean, we've seen plenty of times huge wicks get filled, but again, usually these wicks are near the top of these trends, right? Let me lighten this up over here. What the hell's going on? It's so dark. Like over here, okay, when we had one of these wicks, this is the first one, okay, near the top. Let me take all these drawings off. This is the first one near the top that we had that huge wick, and then it got filled. It wasn't at the bottom. Here still pretty much, like just beginning the downtrend here, and then it got filled. Here, this one didn't really get filled down here. Okay, it just kind of kept going up. I'm looking for more examples of this. Yes, I'm trying to justify my bias. Leave me alone. Let's see. That wasn't very serious. Let's look at our last bottom here. So yeah, the last time we had a really major wick down with a crazy candle body like that was down over here during that last really big drop at the beginning of the year, and then we went up from there. But that's really the only major example besides this clusterfuck that we had in here back in January that I can really see one of those really super long wicks like at the actual bottom. Most of these were near the top or when the downtrend was starting. Same thing with this. It was 3 candles in, to the drop, and then we had that wick and then it filled. Here, this already got filled. We bounced, we had this wick that got filled. We had an SFP that got filled, and now we've just got this massive, crazy, liquidation candle here, and we're floating right on top of resistance at about 40K. If we get a daily close above 40K today, I am going to be very confident in saying that might be all that we get. But I would still be proceeding with great caution in terms of leverage position. I would be proceeding with great caution. I would be keeping my eye on especially the 1 hour time frame and keeping a very close eye on what the volume looks like, because after a really giant move like this, guys, the volume is going to be kind of inconsistent. You're not going to be seeing very consistent volume in this. There's going to be a lot of liquidations back and forth. Everyone's trying to take opportunity of the volatility and stuff. They're using leverage. People are being smart about it, and they're buying support and they're shorting resistance, but they're doing it with leverage. So when those positions are getting liquidated, there's even more liquidity in the market, and it's making the price action all choppy and crazy. So for me, yeah, I am literally dollar cost averaging right now on the 1 hour chart, seeing these 2 wicks to the top side like this. So far, granted, this candle just opened, but that's not giving me very much confidence here. Like I want to see a close above here, above these levels. I want to see a close above this, and then start, retesting 42,000. If we can reclaim 42,000, I think that would be probably a very good thing. But until we see like a daily close above 40, it's not looking good. Like I definitely want to see this candle today which closes in only 7 hours, I really want to see a close above 40. I have a feeling that if we close, like below 40 here and we're below this little median area of support here, we're probably going to stand a really good chance of filling in this wick and potentially seeing down to, 27, 25K. That's a very strong possibility here. Now, one of the other things that I forgot to mention to you guys when I was looking at this, okay, is how far this retracement went. Okay, you guys know that I'm really big on fib extensions, right? So I had this chart drawn for a really long time. Everybody called it FUD. But we got that perfect 1618 tap. Okay, and that's why I'm thinking that we might have bottomed. But I mean, off of looking at this, I definitely need confirmation on this. Like I'm just not going to hop into certainly any large positions on leverage, and I'm probably not going to be using leverage at all until we get some real solid confirmation that, this support level that we had previously broken down through earlier today. I mean, I guess we could call this support now, but because with the price action is kind of sitting in here, so I'll change this to green for now. But normally on the higher time frames like the daily and the 4 hour chart, if I have to change the color of one of these major support and resistance areas multiple times throughout the day, that means that I don't have confirmation yet on where the price action is going. So, you want to stay vigilant. You want to stay cautious. If you're trading this volatility, good. I encourage it. Get the experience, but don't go whining to me and whining on Twitter. Oh my God, I got fucking liquidated. When everybody that's been around in the space for a long time has been telling you, stop using leverage right now. Don't be trading on leverage right now. Be very careful with what you're doing. Coming back to 37, 36 on the minute chart, I never even look at a minute chart. I would go fucking crazy looking at this. I don't even know how people trade this for real. I don't trade on anything less than a 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart is the absolute lowest that I will go. And normally I use a 15-minute chart. A 1-minute chart is just absolutely crazy. I don't know how you guys are doing that. And now they have even like second charts and stuff like that on here. Like if you pay for TradingView, they even have like 15 and 10-second charts. Like I don't understand how you guys do that. I mean, even the 3-minute chart is just like crazy. I don't know how you guys are doing that, but more power to you if you are good at that. That's some crazy shit. I think that's pretty much it, guys. As you all know, those of you that are still here, and all that good stuff. I finally just got the website up. Go to Kobra-Trading, Kobra-Trading.com. Go ahead, check out the site. All the information about the Telegram group and what I do and all of the features of that are going to be in there. I'm not going to go over it on the live stream. I got to add there's no link for it in the description. I actually have to edit my YouTube descriptions for my live streams and for my videos and stuff. So I can go ahead and add that in there. So go ahead, check out all the information on the website. Go ahead and join in the free Telegram group. I'm sure over time I'll be posting promos, discounts, more information about the newsletter that I'm going to be coming out with soon. And this weekend, I am turning those trading lesson series that are on the YouTube private, and I'm going to be implementing the members area on the website and stuff. So as long as you are in the premium Telegram and all of that stuff, there'll be other ways to join through the website instead of just with the bot. And all of those trading lesson series along with, I'm going to have special live streams that I'm going to be doing chart requests. If you purchase a lifetime membership, I will be a one-on-one coach with you for a 1 hour call one-on-one once a month. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. Plus you'll get the newsletter completely free forever. If you get the yearly package, you get a permanent 25% off the newsletter once I release that. And the newsletter is going to be coming out probably next month. I'm shooting for next month, but I want to have the members area up with the other payment gateways set up for Monday, now that I got the Stripe stuff figured out. So all of those, when I first launched this yesterday, and it was, let me take this off. Okay. When I first launched yesterday, before I go real quick, there was like 40 or 50 of you that were trying to get into the premium group. And it was super underwhelming because Stripe kind of screwed me up on that. And for whatever reason, they said that I was that my business was verified. Then I couldn't accept payments. Then I had to call them up. And it wasn't until this morning that I got an email from them saying that sorry about that. I got a weird email. Sorry. Anyway, so basically, long story short, I ended up fixing that situation. So for all of you guys that are global, that you guys don't have access to PayPal, or you don't want to or can't use the cryptocurrency option, obviously you can pay with crypto. We talked about crypto here. If you guys have to use the Stripe payments, those are fixed now. Okay, so you guys can use that. So go ahead, check all that stuff out. Obviously, there will be a replay of this video later on today on the YouTube. Thank you all for joining. If you're new here, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button, just right down here. Okay, smash that. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Love you guys. You guys are friends. Okay. Anyway, no, I'm not showing dick pics. Thank you for the stream. Thanks again. We're going to 30. So thanks everybody. I will talk to you later. Go ahead, hop in that free Telegram group. I'm going to post a couple charts later on today. And then certainly come, like Friday, that's going to be the last day that I'm posting a whole bunch of free alpha, and the comments in the free Telegram will be turned off. The premium Telegram is like a group, so everybody can be chatting in there all the time. No more comments or any of that shit. So, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Be careful, employ risk management, keep dollar cost averaging and stuff. If you missed buying spot at 45K, buy it here at 40K, whatever. So make sure you do all that. Make sure you protect yourselves. Don't be stupid. Don't trade more than you can afford to lose, all those basic trading rules. And I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to do probably a full market analysis video, more in depth, and actually have it planned out, write down my thoughts so I can actually get really in depth with the analysis. And that'll probably be a video for tomorrow, for Thursday. Okay. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And until next time,